I almost never make videos where I've written a script for them, but I feel like I just I wanted to write this short exhortation and warning to kind of sum up a lot of my thought, my writing on Substack, my engagement with certain people in real life and online, um, and to mark a point where I've decided that I'm not going to make videos trying to respond to popular YouTubers or figures in online religion or orthodoxy or Christianity, or even political things. I'm done playing the game of going back and forth or of trying to get somebody to see a different perspective, especially online, when one, it's ineffective, and two, it doesn't please the algorithm, and so my videos aren't picked up anyway. And so what's the point, right? Um, I'm From now on I'm going to make positive videos describing positive understandings of things, not just positive in terms of happy, but positive in terms of actually laying out a constructive, positive theoretical vision of the world, and not just playing the back and forth debate game that I think ultimately is a distraction for the most part from uh, actually understanding the world and being a good philosopher and a good teacher and a good thinker and a good person. So, um, you know, I just I don't want to bother anymore. So I want to read this to everybody for myself to get off my chest, and also maybe to help other people. If it does, who knows? But at least it's for me. So here we go. Friends, my heart is heavy, my anger is stirred up, sadness and anxiety overtake me in turn. I feel I know nothing, have discovered nothing, have nothing to say, and have no authority to fall back on. But something within me cannot rest without at least speaking a warning publicly, despite all my deficiencies and limitations. Do not rely on YouTubers for theology and philosophy, even if they have PhDs. PhDs do not indicate wisdom or even content knowledge beyond what it takes to write a narrowly defined dissertation. Trusting in internet figures who have achieved popularity will lead you into many distractions. Popularity requires tailoring your work to the masses and thereby limits its rigor and truthfulness. True rigor and depth prevents constant creation of new content. Anyone pleasing the algorithm is not pleasing reason, and very likely is not pleasing God. The algorithm favors wealth and the preservation of power, and many are unwittingly used to further the aims of evil. Especially when it comes to religion and spirituality, read primary sources. Listen to and seek out the writings and thoughts of your bishops and theological committees, and read scholars who are vetted by peer review. Take classes at universities. Develop personal relationships with deep thinkers and those who know more than you. Again, do not be deluded that internet personalities are capable of presenting information reliably and with sufficient depth or scope. Be they priests, academics, pastors, or hobbyists. Be careful. Trust no one. Study deeply. Withhold judgment on issues until you do so. Become comfortable with your lack of knowledge, though always strive to learn. Otherwise, your view of the world will be distorted, molded into the image of whatever influencers you are viewing. The masses of creators leave out more than you know. Their vision of reality is limited, and even when they are correct, they grasp the truth only in part. Above all, remember to be a staunch partisan of love. Strive to see and appreciate the beauty in each creature. We have no enemies, only fallen friends, and we have an infinite debt of love to all those prior to, present with, and following after us. If a teacher does not teach love, they are false. If you find Christ without finding love, you have only found a demon. I close with some words from my patron saint, Gregor the theologian, from his first theological oration. I am to speak against persons who pride themselves on their eloquence. So to begin with a text of Scripture, behold, I am against thee, O proud one, not only in thy system of teaching, but also in thy hearing and in thy tone of mind. For there are certain persons who have not only their ears and their tongues, but even as I now perceive their hands too, they are all itching for our words. Those who delight in profane babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called, those who strife about words, and all which tend to no profit. For so Paul calls all that is excessive and superfluous in discourse. But as to those to whom we refer, would that they whose tongue is so voluble and clever in applying itself to noble and approved language would likewise pay some attention to actions. For then perhaps in a little while they would become less sophistical and less absurd and strange acrobats of words, if I may use a ridiculous expression about a ridiculous subject. All of those who lack love, who are allied with right-wing political causes, this is not Gregory. All of those who spend more time criticizing than building up, responding rather than putting forward a positive vision. Anybody who thinks they speak for a certain religious or philosophical tradition without actually reading the authoritative or even just paradigm sources of how that tradition manifests in the past, present, and looks towards the future, all of those are profane babblers. And most of all, those who are allied with these things and do these things ultimately lack a concern and focus on beauty, goodness, truth, and love. And this is the vast majority of people on YouTube. Whether they are Orthodox, Catholic, Protestant, whether they're atheist or religious, whether I agree with them or don't, I find like 3 or 4 people I've seen who are public figures or who have any following on YouTube or social media or the internet who actually capture love. So with that, I will never allow myself to respond again to or make response videos to people. I am only going to develop my own thoughts and give them to you for the very few people who watch my videos. So that's it.